Hey there, everybody. It's me, Lily Rose, the admin here at Encouragement Corner on Facebook. And we are continuing on today in the book of Genesis, where it all began. You know, it's so awesome when we think about how God decided to create the heavens and the earth. And in all of that, He purposely and intentionally created men in His own image. And when we're saying men in general, we're saying people, right? So he made them in His own image. And knowing that He handcrafted each of us and knew every detail about you and about me since the beginning of time blows my mind. It's really something that's hard to wrap your head around, but yet it's wonderful. And it's something that just draws me closer to the Father in saying, you know, you did this on purpose. Like you wanted me here, and you wanted beauty on the earth. You thought about moons and stars, and you thought about plants and animals and all of these amazing things that we have in our world today. Now, unfortunately, our world is tainted by sin, right? And so there's also a lot of ugly now in the world, but it wasn't that way then. And so I often like to just sit outside in my little hammock and wonder, as I look at the trees and everything, what did it look like before sin came and messed it all up? So anyway, those are thoughts I've been pondering over the last few days. Chapter 2, Book of Genesis. So the creation of the heavens and the earth and everything in them was completed. On the seventh day, God had finished His work of creation, so He rested from all His work. That's an example for us, guys, that there are days for working hard, and then there's a day to rest and to relax and to appreciate all the things that have occurred. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because it was a day when He rested from all His work of creation. This is the account of the creation of the heavens and the earth. When the Lord God made the earth and the heavens, neither wild plants nor grains were growing on the earth, for the Lord God had not yet sent rain to water the earth, and there were no people to cultivate the soil. Instead, springs came up from the ground and watered all the land. Then the Lord God formed the man from the dust of the ground. He breathed the breath of life into the man's nostrils, and the man became a living person. Again, another thing, guys, that just kind of my mind is like, whoa. So God, His very own breath, breathed into Adam and brought him life, the giver of life. Then the Lord God planted a garden in Eden in the east, and there He placed the man He had made. The Lord God made all sorts of trees grow up from the ground that were beautiful and that produced delicious fruit. In the middle of the garden He placed the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. A river flowed from the land of Eden, watering the garden and then dividing it into 4 branches. The first branch, called the Fishon, followed around the entire land of Havah, where gold is found. The gold of that land is exceptionally pure. Aromatic resin and onyx stone are also found there. The second branch, called the Gihon, flowed around the entire land of Cush. The third branch, called the Tigris, followed east of the land of Asher. The fourth branch is called the Euphrates. The Lord God placed the man in the garden to tend and watch over it. But the Lord God warned him, "You may freely eat the fruit of every tree in the garden except the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. If you eat its fruit, you are sure to die." Then the Lord God said, "It is not good for the man to be alone. I will make a helper who is just right for him." So the Lord God formed from the ground all the wild animals and all the birds of the sky, and He brought them to the man to see what he could call them. And the man chose a name for each one. He gave names to all the livestock, all the birds, of the sky, and all the wild animals, but still there was no helper just right for him. So the Lord God caused the man to fall into a deep sleep. While the man slept, the Lord God took one of the man's ribs and closed up the opening. Then the Lord God made a woman from the rib, and he brought her to the man. At last, the man exclaimed, "This one is bone from my bone and flesh from my flesh. She will be called woman, because she was taken from man." This explains why a man leaves his father and mother and is joined to his wife, and the two are united into one. Now the man and his wife were both naked, but they felt no shame. I think it's totally awesome, guys, that the Lord saw that Adam needed a helper, and it's very specific here that it wasn't good for man to be alone. And so then God made woman. So if there's ever any question to you about who belongs with who, it's very clear. God intentionally made woman. So man and woman belong together, united in marriage. And that is the only way that is appropriate in God's eyes. I love you guys, and we'll read more tomorrow.